Okay, this is what I want to do. I did one last year, 11 months ago. My votes for the Game Awards. Gosh, it's already almost been a year since the Game Awards. That's crazy to me. Where is time going? Anyways, the nominees are up and we get to vote. 21 days. 21. Would like to vote now, please. December 8th, 7:30 Eastern time. Let's start voting. I love how it's the first category. We're going game of the year. What's your game of the year? I feel like I shouldn't do this right away because I haven't finished playing Ragnarok, you know? So for game of the year, A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. So I have not played A Plague Tale Requiem, and I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I have only played about an hour and a half to 2 hours of Forbidden West. For some odd reason, Horizon Zero Dawn was incredible. Like when it came out, I played all the way through it, just like no lifed it all the way through. And I really enjoyed it. And when I saw the trailers for Horizon Forbidden West and like the gameplay trailers and all this stuff, I'm like, dude, this game is gonna be incredible. You get like a glider, all this stuff. I got the game, started playing it, and I just, there didn't feel like there was anything to keep me playing, you know? But I do want to finish it. I do want to go back and play that. But I think at the time when it was releasing, there were a lot of other games coming out that I was like a little bit more focused on wanting to play other than Forbidden West. You don't know what Stray is, Koala Man? Stray, you get to play as a cat. I do highly recommend Stray though, if you haven't played it. It's a ton of fun. The story is, I think the story is very good. The thing is amongst all these games, I don't know anything about Xenoblade games. I really don't. All the other ones I'm very familiar with how they work and how they play. I'm not familiar with Xenoblade. What I can say though is I feel like everyone has been saying, even since Ragnarok released, since February when Elden Ring came out, everyone's like, it's gonna be between Elden Ring and Ragnarok. Like that's what it's going to come down to. People are going to be either really upset when one or the other wins is what's going to happen. And it's tricky for me because Elden Ring and Ragnarok are two very different games. But they're saying that game of the year, recognizing a game that delivers the absolute best experience across all creative and technical fields. I think where Ragnarok excels, where Elden Ring doesn't, is obviously their cutscenes, their dialogue, the characters. In Elden Ring and From Software games, you're led to interpret those yourself and kind of build the world around you through reading the different lore and things like that, where Ragnarok kind of just gives it to you, which I'm not saying that's an issue. Those are all good games. They're all incredible games. And I like I said, besides Xenoblade, I feel like all of them deserve to be in this category. I haven't heard a ton about Plague Tale, but I did play the first one and it was really good. I would assume Requiem is similar to it. But for me personally, what it comes down to is just being immersed in a world where you feel like you're just a part of it. You know what I mean? Ragnarok is really doing that for me right now. Elden Ring, it's not that it didn't, but I think the game is so grand that it's kind of hard after a first playthrough to kind of collect your thoughts of what the story. I couldn't tell you what the story of Elden Ring is. I couldn't tell you, like, you have to, that's the thing, you have to go look up in Elden Ring, like, whoa, what does this mean? What does that mean? And then you kind of put the pieces together and things like that. That's nice. And I don't think that's for everybody. Gameplay wise, Elden Ring, like, I still think Bloodborne is the best from Software game. Like Bloodborne, perfection. That's where it's at. Elden Ring, I feel like is right below it. Elden Ring is very good. I think if you're wanting to get into From Software games, Elden Ring is a good one to hop into first. But as it stands right now, even though I have not finished Ragnarok, I'm very much enjoying it, and my vote goes for God of War Ragnarok. Next category. Best Game Direction. Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. We got Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray. I'm unfamiliar with Immortality. I don't know Immortality. It's still really hard to compare a game like Stray that's only 5 hours long, 6 hours long, to a game like Forbidden West that's probably like 30 something hours long, Ragnarok that's 30 to 40, Elden Ring that's 30 to 40. It's kind of difficult to compare those, I guess. But my immediate choice, once again, Ragnarok. I think in terms of like game direction and design, like some of these cutscenes, the camera angles that they use in some of these scenes is really, really good. I enjoy them and how everything plays out. Next category, best narrative. Ooh, for outstanding storytelling and narrative development in a game. Plague Tale, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, and Immortality. Ragnarok is just checking all these boxes. I said while I was playing Ragnarok, everyone's like, oh, how does this one compare to 2018? I think 2018 story is very good, and especially the ending and all that stuff leading up to it, phenomenal. This game, Ragnarok, really capitalizes on that. And the fact that you have so many different storylines going at the same time and then they all meet up. I think the writing in this game is very, very good, very clever. There are multiple times where you almost want to be on Odin's side, I think, for how well the narrative is of that game, even though you know he's the bad guy. And there are multiple other things where my vote goes for Ragnarok. Ragnarok fanboy over here, I guess. Best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Got Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Scorn, and Stray. I did play a little bit of Scorn. I played it off stream. I didn't realize that Scorn was just a puzzle game. It was just straight up a puzzle game with some combat elements to it. But I really did love the world that they built behind it. It was very fun to look at everything in that game. Forbidden West and Ragnarok, it's not like there's much difference to their previous titles. They kind of feel the same, if that makes sense. Although granted, both of them being on PS5, the game can look a lot better. Elden Ring has so many different areas where when you think about it, artistic design between all of it is kind of insane. And Stray is a very fun game to look at as well. So for me right now, it's between Elden Ring and Stray, where I feel Stray really nails it. It knows what it wants to be. It knows the story that it's trying to tell, and it has a lot of fun with that. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to decide between the two of these. As an indie game, with Stray being an indie game, I'm going to give Stray the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to do best art direction for Stray. Best score and music. Oh. For outstanding music, inclusive of score, or original song and or licensed soundtrack. Plague Tale, Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Hellsinger, and Xenoblade Chronicles. Dude, God of War 2018 is what made me very aware of who Bear McCreary is. I think he also went on to do the Godzilla soundtrack and a bunch of other movies too, which I was glad to see that it's not just video games. Although he's really good at what he does, and God of War's music really helps build the world that you're playing in. Elden Ring always has fantastic music. There's not a song that I could think of right now where it's like, oh yeah, that's Elden Ring. You know, From Software has this way of all the soundtracks kind of blending and sounding the same. Metal Hellsinger was just tons and tons of fun to listen to. Like the fact that the songs were made for the gameplay and not the other way around, I guess. I feel like it should go to either Ragnarok or Elden Ring, but I'm gonna do Metal Hellsinger because I had a lot of fun with it. Best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Oh God. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo, and Horizon Forbidden West. You know who was on this last year? I'm pretty sure audio design last year, there was a, was it Forza Horizon? And it was Resident Evil Village. And I really wanted Village to win because I feel like when it comes to a horror game, you want to be immersed in that. You want your sound to just like there's something lingering behind you, on your left, on your right, you know. And I still think Forza won. Let's actually check. I'm pretty sure that's what it was, and I was kind of upset about that. Yeah, Deathloop, Forza Horizon, Ratchet & Clank, Village, and Returnal. For me personally, that's what I feel. While Forza Horizon probably needs some really good audio design as well, because of all the different environments you're in, all the different cars, it's got to be insane. I think one of the best things
about Resident Evil Village is the audio in the game.
That's
it
facts.
It works really well.
It does.
So I'm gonna vote Resident Evil Village.
Let's go. I remember that not completely upsetting me. I mean, it makes sense because I'm pretty sure I didn't play a whole lot of Horizon 5, but I know that if you have to do every individual car, you have to do the sound from depending on the environment you're in. It makes sense. It does. I was just a really big fanboy of Village at that time. I still don't think, like, if you're going like the campaign, I feel like the audio in the campaign for Modern Warfare was pretty good, but it is not good in multiplayer, and it is most definitely not good in Warzone right now. I don't know is there really a whole lot that goes into Elden Ring sound design and how it affects like whatever environment you're in. I don't know all that well. These are like very odd choices, I feel like, for audio design. I don't remember all of the releases this year and what could have been in this category, but I would assume I'll put a bet that Gran Turismo ends up winning this because it kind of makes sense, I feel like, for the racing games to get it. I will give it to Elden Ring though, because I haven't voted for Elden Ring for anything, and I really did enjoy the game. Ooh, best performance. Awarded to an individual for voiceover acting, motion, and or performance capture. Ashley Birch for Horizon Forbidden West. Charlotte McBurney, A Plague Tale Requiem. Christopher Judge, God of War Ragnarok. Manon Gage, Immortality. And Sunny Soljic for God of War Ragnarok. This is tough. I'm assuming Ashley Birch does Aloy. That's what I'm going to assume does it. And a lot of these are characters that have been done before. I'm not familiar with Immortality, but all these people have, this is their second chance. Not second chance. Yeah, their second opportunity of playing a character they've played before. I think the person who really shines is Sunny Soljic with Atreus. He has such a bigger part in Ragnarok, like a whole completely different storyline and everything. He's a playable character, has cutscenes where it's just him, and I think he really shines in this game. You really feel for him, and it just works really well. Christopher Judge as Kratos is like one of the best things to happen though, and his scenes are very good. I just think that Ragnarok is just as much Atreus's game as it is Kratos's, but I still think that Sunny showed something very good in this game, so I'm gonna vote for Sunny. Best ongoing, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 15, or Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact. These were all like the ones for last year too, weren't they? Oh, Warzone is taken place by Destiny. Interesting. I have not played any of Final Fantasy 14. I hear it's incredible, and I think that will be the one that probably wins. But to see how consistent Fortnite is still staying after all these years of ongoing content, I think is something to behold and something that other games should look up to. I'm gonna give it to Fortnite. Best indie, ooh, for outstanding creative and technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Cult of the Lamb, Neon White, Sifu, Stray, and Tunic. Oh, is Ariacon here? Because Ariacon has been saying he's been having a ton of fun with Tunic. He just brought it up today that he's like, dude, you gotta check out Tunic. Tunic is great. I'm aware of Tunic. I have not played it. I'm aware of Neon White, and I want to play it. It seems very cool. Cult of the Lamb, we spent some good time with. Sifu did a full playthrough. Stray, we did a full playthrough. I think all these games are great. Wow. This is a stacked category though. Like, this is difficult, I feel like, because these are all very good games. A Sacrifice? Yeah. I think Cult of the Lamb is a lot of fun if you're a streamer. I've been meaning to try to talk to people who are not streaming and who do not have the Twitch integration of how fun the game is, because having a community that can become someone of your cult is a lot of fun, and I feel like it's very interactive for the Twitch chat as well. The gameplay's tons of fun. It's a roguelike. I mean, it works well. The art direction in it is also fantastic. The animation, like, it's all very top tier. To hear that it was an indie game was very surprising to me. Sifu was a lot of fun in the combat was new. It was something fresh. And it was something that had been on my radar for quite a long time, as well as Stray. Oh man, it's very hard to just straight up decide which one I'd want. Oh man, I think I'm gonna give it to Stray. Best mobile game. Well, I don't play mobile games. Best community support, sponsored by Discord. Recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and games updates / patches. Apex Legends, Destiny 2, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. I feel like it'll be between Final Fantasy, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky kind of like killed it this year, didn't they? Yeah, No Man's Sky 100%. They kind of, I mean, it was last year they had their super big update that kind of like flipped it upside down. But then I'm always constantly seeing things on social media about it. Like people are talking about like No Man's Sky really did a 180. And what's his face who is like the director of this game or whatever. I feel like he's pretty transparent about what he's doing in the game. And you know what did work, what didn't. I feel like Fortnite, Final Fantasy, Destiny 2, Apex, these ones like they feel like they're kind of on a locomotive or something like that. Like it's just the way that it is, you know. I don't know if it's the best community support. The community support is there, but I'm actually gonna give it to No Man's Sky. Best action game. For the best game in the action genre, focused primarily on combat. Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Wow. I haven't seen any of the gameplay of Bayonetta 3, so I don't know how much it differs from the previous entries, but I've heard it's good. I've heard it's fun. Out of all of these, immediately the one that sticks out is Sifu. Just being able to have all these different combos and styles that you can fight in alongside the weapons. I think, I mean, there's nothing else. There's nothing that these other games do wrong. It's just, I feel like I've had the most fun with Sifu. Wait. Best action game, but best action adventure. You gotta have adventure while you're, you know, doing all that action, you know? You got A Plague Tale, Ragnarok, Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. For the best action adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. I don't know that, I mean, I guess there is some action in Stray. There are some moments of it, but I don't know if I'd call it an action game. I guess you would call it an action adventure. Never mind. Let's just stop beating around the bush. It's Ragnarok. Easy peasy. Ooh, best role playing. For the best game designed with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. There's not really massively multiplayer experiences in Elden Ring. I mean, there is multiplayer, but Elden Ring, Live a Life, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicles. I'm only familiar with Arceus and Elden Ring. Is Pokemon really... Pokemon's a role-playing game? I mean, I guess it is, right? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Elden Ring. It just makes sense to me. The best multiplayer. For outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experience, irrespective of game genre or platform. You got Call of Duty Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I guess that is a multiplayer game. I thought that was like a couch co-op game, but for most of these that I've spent the most time on is Modern Warfare 2 and Overwatch 2. I kind of want to give it to Overwatch 2 because I was having a ton of fun with it. Kind of reinvigorated my love for that game. But no but. I'm just voting Overwatch. Ooh, best debut indie. For the best debut game created by a new independent studio, Neon White, Norco, Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. Dude, Vampire Survivors snuck up like out of nowhere. Like I saw some people playing this at one point and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Started playing it myself. Dude, this game is addictive. It is so much fun. And then it just like exploded. Like everybody was playing it. You know, Poor Legends playing it in between Warzone matches, or, you know, all these other things. Like people are playing it in between, you know, Valorant matches. They're getting to their next one, so we're gonna play a little bit of Vampire Survivors. Like, ton of fun. It's just like one of those games that you can sort of mindlessly play. Like if there's something you want to play just to pass the time where you don't gotta think as hard, Vampire Survivors is that one. And I feel like this game came out. There are also other games in this genre of, I don't know what you would call Vampire Survivors genre, but I felt like a lot of games that came out later this year that were trying to replicate what Vampire Survivors was doing. I had a ton of fun with it. I think a runner-up is definitely Stray. It has a very unique world to it and a unique story to tell, but I'm gonna give it to Vampire Survivors. The most anticipated game. Recognizing an announced game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Look, I get the hype for The Legend of Zelda. I understand it completely. Me personally, Breath of the Wild was just like not the game for me. I hate that my weapons would break all the time. You gotta go find new ones, all this stuff. I couldn't really get into it. I can't ever really get into Nintendo games. I don't know what it is about it. But I understand the hype behind it. And I'm excited for a lot of people that are excited for Tears of the Kingdom. Starfield coming out from Bethesda is like Fallout in space or something like that. So a lot of people are very excited for that. Although what happened last time with Fallout 76 makes me not as anticipated for it, because who knows how the release of that is going to be. Resident Evil 4, the gameplay, like the early gameplay of it looks phenomenal. It looks really, really good. Hogwarts Legacy, I think, is my most anticipated. And it comes out this year, doesn't it? Or no, it comes out in February. Yeah, February 10th. And I've just been seeing more gameplay of it, and it looks like a ton of fun. It looks like everything you would want in a Hogwarts type game. And Final Fantasy 16, I remember seeing some of it. I don't know if I'm anticipated for it or if it's gonna potentially push the gaming medium forward. I think the one that's gonna do it and that I'm most excited for is Hogwarts Legacy. I don't pay too much attention to the esports or the athletes or the teams or the coaches or the events. Never mind. No, Evo 2022, man. There is something like, okay, so you got Evo, you got LoL World Championship, PGL, I don't even know what that is. Mid-seasonal invitational, I don't even know what that is. And the Valorant Champions. Like, esports, if you're invested in that game and you know how the game works and you know what the top skilled players, like how hard it is to be a top skilled player in those games, makes watching esports such an enjoyable time. But there's something about it for fighting games for me that it's like on another level. Like trying to play fighting games, like I love playing Tekken 7. Like I play it sometimes on stream, but I play a lot of it off stream, and knowing like how the top players play that game is so unreal to me. And watching all these other fighting games that I love to watch, not as much play, is a lot of fun, of them like in real time outsmarting their opponent. Where I'm not familiar with LoL and how that game works. Valorant Champions is fun to watch, but it's not like there's anything like I haven't seen before. You know, when you're good at Valorant, you can immediately notice like, okay, they've got the spray patterns down, they've got, you know, the lineups, they got all this ready. Like when it comes to fighting games, sure, a character has all certain move sets and moves that they can use, but there's just something about you can put your personality onto that character and play that character a certain way. So I'm gonna vote for Evo. At first I wasn't going to vote for any of them, but Evo was great. And we got the announcement of Tekken 8 at Evo, so that's even better. So we voted in 17 categories, just about half. There were some of them I didn't feel it was necessary for me to vote because I either didn't play any of those games or I'm not as much into that realm of understanding. But I think it's going to be a great year. We're going to get a bunch of new releases. December 8th, you know, world premieres, all that stuff is what we're always looking forward to.